Okay, good evening Khushi, good evening Kushal, a very good evening to everyone. Let me check, are we live yet? Okay, let's see who's there. Okay. Hello Kushal, good evening Khushi, good evening Vaishnavi, good evening Hartesh, a very good evening to everyone. So welcome again to our live stream where every day we will be practicing and we are going to cover up the syllabus for upcoming Sainik School entrance exam for class 6. Good evening Priyanka. So yesterday we started off with the fractions and आज भी हम continue करेंगे fractions से. So before that, anyone who is connecting with the session for the first time, do not forget to subscribe the channel, and in addition press the like button so that more and more of your friends will get connected. So will anyone tell what did we discussed in the yesterday's class? Good evening Naveen, good evening Akshat Stories, good evening Deepti, good evening Manit, a very good evening to everyone. Okay, so as far as I remember हम लोगों ने कल start किया था fractions से. We had started discussing about fractions. Okay, so without wasting and without doing any further delay, yes everyone, we discussed about fraction. So without any further delay we will be continuing with the class. So we discussed about proper and improper fraction yesterday. So a quick revision for yesterday, we discussed that there are two types of fraction. What is fraction? Fraction is a part of whole. This we discussed. The fraction has two components, like it can be expressed in the form of a upon b, where a is a numerator, b is a denominator. This line is called as fraction line. This much we had discussed. Okay, and further we discussed that there are two types of fraction. Yes Naveen, there are two types of fraction: proper fraction and improper fraction. Proper fraction whose denominator is greater than numerator, and improper fraction whose denominator is smaller than numerator. So this much we had discussed yesterday. Today we are going to discuss the next kinds of fraction, the like and unlike fraction. Before that everyone, my voice is clear? Okay, so next we have is like and unlike fractions. So like fractions, what are like fractions? Like fraction में हमने क्या use किया है? We have used the term like. Like का meaning क्या होता है? Similar. Okay, like fractions. Like stands for similar. What is the meaning of like? Like stands for similar. Okay, so what are like fractions? Two or more fractions whose denominators are similar. Okay, two or more fractions whose denominators are similar, we call such fractions as like fractions. What do we call them? Like fractions. Yesterday also I told you that हमने जो fractions को classify किया है, mainly we have classified it on the basis of denominator. Proper fraction, denominator is greater. Improper fraction, denominator is smaller. Like fraction, what denominators are similar. तो हम कैसे define करेंगे? Any two or more fractions. Any two or more fractions whose denominators are same. Any two or more fractions whose denominators are same are referred as like fractions. What do we call such fractions? We call all such fractions as like fractions. So most important thing is that their denominators are same. Equivalent we have not studied yet. Ayush, improper we have discussed. So good evening Ayush. I think you missed yesterday's class. Improper we have discussed yet. What are improper fractions? Those which have smaller denominator. And equivalent fractions we will discuss. Okay, so those fractions whose denominators are same. So most important thing to keep in mind, unlike proper or improper fractions जो एक ही fraction से हम express कर सकते थे, like fractions is always be two or more. Like fraction will always be two or more. Why? Because we are comparing, and compare हम कब करते हैं? Whenever the things are greater than 1. So any two or more fractions whose denominators are same. What can be the example? 1 by 2 and 3 by 2. What are the denominators here? 1 by 2 and 3 by 2. The denominators are 2. In both the cases, the denominators are 2. So these two denominators are similar. So these are the examples of what? These are the examples of like fraction. Similarly, you can have examples such as 1 by 3, 4 by 3, 6 by 3. Once again, these are three fractions. In these three fractions, denominator kya hai? The denominator is 3. The denominator is similar. 3, 3 and 3. So once again, these are the examples of like fraction. Okay, understood everyone what are like fractions? Any two or more fractions whose denominators are same, we call them like fractions. Okay, we call them like fractions. Hello Ayush, hello Ranjan. So clear to everyone, all of you can provide the examples of like fraction, and meanwhile anyone is having difficulty in the like fraction, आप पूछ सकते हो अभी, we will work on that. 6 by 3 and 8 by 3. Very good, Priyanka. 6 by 3 and 8 by 3 are the examples of like fractions. Both of them have the similar denominator, that is 3. Good. Yes, these are the like fractions. Correct, Naveen. 2 by 6 and 7 by 6. Denominator is 6. Very good. Hello, Nilesh. Good evening. So clear to everyone what are like fractions? Any difficulty in this? 9 by 8 and 7 by 8. Good, Kushi. 4 by 5 and 9 by 5. Very good, Deepti. 4 by 3 and 5 by 3. Yes. So I think everyone is clear with like fractions. The fractions with same denominator, we call them like fractions. 9 by 3 and 4 by 5. No, Kushal. Have a look. 9 by 3 and 4 by 5. What is the denominator here? In the first fraction it is 3. In the another fraction it is 5. These two are different. Are they similar? No. They are not similar. These two denominators are different. So these are not the examples of like fraction. The fractions which have different denominators, we call them unlike fractions. Okay. So this will be the example of unlike fraction. This is not the example of like fraction. Okay. Provide any other example, Kushal. 4 by 7 and 1 by 7 is correct. Good. Okay. You typed by mistake. Yes, Khushi. Go ahead. You're having doubt? Yes, go ahead. Okay, so the next we will be looking into is 2 by 3 and 4 by 3. Correct, good. Now I think everyone is clear with like fractions. 2 by 5 and 4 by 5. I think Dakshesh it is, right? Good, Dakshesh. Next kind of fractions we will discuss about is unlike fractions, okay? And when we study this, make sure to take the notes. Yes, Khushi, you can ask your doubts. That's what I said. Yes, type it, we will work on it. Everyone, you can ask your doubts. 2 by 5 and 3 by 5. Correct, beta. Next, the fourth type of fraction is unlike fractions. What are the four type of fractions? The fourth type of fraction is unlike fraction. Okay, so before this we discussed like fraction. हमने क्या study किया? Like meant similar. What does like meant in like fraction? Like meant similar. So unlike क्या होगा? Just the opposite of like. Unlike would be just the opposite of like. So unlike here stands for dissimilar. What does unlike stands for? Unlike stands for dissimilar. So what are unlike fractions? Okay. What are unlike fractions? Unlike fractions are those fractions which have different denominators, just the opposite of like fractions. Unlike fraction are those fractions which have different denominators. So how can we define them? Any two or more Any two or more fractions which have different denominators. Okay, any two or more fractions which have different denominators, we call them unlike fraction. What do we call them? These are called them unlike fractions. Okay, so any two or more fractions whose denominators are different, these are called as unlike fractions. Okay, so now we will look into the examples of unlike fraction. Everyone, try to find out the example. Is 1 by 7? Yes, Khushi, 1 by 7 is a fraction. Okay, 1 by 7 is a fraction. Yes, everyone. Examples 3 by 5 and 2 by 8. Very good, Naveen. 3 by 5 and 2 by 8. So have a look. When we say 3 by 5 and 2 by 8, in the first fraction, the denominator is 5. In the second fraction, the denominator is 8. So these are two different denominators. That makes them unlike fraction. Okay? The different denominators make them unlike fraction. Then 7 by 9. Deepti, one more fraction you will need. जब भी हम like fraction और unlike fraction study करते हैं, we need at least two fractions because you are comparing. When we say denominators are same, तो कैसे same होंगे? At least you need two fractions. So when we are discussing like and unlike fractions, आपको दो fraction at least लेने पड़ेंगे because this is a comparison. Okay? 7 by 3 and 8 by 5. Very good, Hartesh. 7 by 3 and 8 by 5. Again, these are unlike fractions. 9 by 3, 4 by 3, 7 by 8 and 3 by 10. So, your example, Kushal, 9 by 3, 4 by 3, 7 by 8 and 3 by 10. In this, these two are like fraction, these three are unlike fraction. Okay, these two are like and these three are unlike fraction. 4 by 5 and 5 by 7. Okay, good. 5 by 4 and 4 by 6. Correct. It's okay, Deepti. No need to say sorry. Khushi, 5 by 4 and 4 by 9. Correct. 9 by 4, 4 by 7. 2 by 6, 5 by 3. Very good, everyone. So, understood? Fractions having different denominators, unlike fraction. Fractions having same denominators, like fractions. Any difficulty to anyone in unlike fractions? Yes, Viren. Provide your example. 3 by 4, 5 by 6 and 3 by 7. Correct. Good, Kushal. So everyone is clear with unlike fraction? Any difficulties or doubts in this? No difficulties. Okay. No doubts. Okay. So I will be writing down a few fractions here. And what will you do? You will tell me that which of them is a like fraction and which of them is unlike fraction. 7 by 4 and 2 by 8. Good. So the exercise question is categorize the following fractions as like and unlike fraction. Categorize the following fractions as like and unlike fraction. Okay, first one 3 by 8, 9 by 8, 6 by 8, 1 by 4, 6 by 9, 7 by 11, 12 by 6, 13 by 4, 6 by 19. Go ahead, categorize them as like, unlike fractions. Okay, write down like one like fraction. One is proper. Okay, it is proper, but is it like or unlike fraction? Second is unlike. Okay. And the third one? Good. First one is, everyone is correct here, yes. Himanshu and Viren, Kushal, Deepti, Manet, Khushi, Naveen, everyone is correct here. Hartesh, 3 by 8, 9 by 8, 6 by 8, the denominator is same. So this is an example of like fraction. Okay, this is the example of like fraction. 1 by 4, 6 by 9, 7 by 11. 4, 9, 11. Denominators are different. So we will be calling it a unlike fraction. These are the examples of unlike fraction. 12 by 6, 13 by 4, 6 by 19. Again the denominators are different. So these are unlike fractions. Okay, good everyone. Everyone's answer is correct. Very good. Khushi, Akshat stories, Nilesh, everyone is correct. Very good. These are unlike fractions. Okay. So next, we discuss about like and unlike fractions. So these were the 4 types of fractions that we discussed till now. Proper, improper, like and unlike. Let's quickly revise them once. Okay. In the short form, we can say proper fractions, what happens in the proper fraction? Denominator is greater. In the proper fraction, denominator is greater. What happens in the improper fraction? The denominator is smaller. Just the opposite of proper fraction. The denominator is smaller. Third, like fractions. What happens in the like fraction? Denominators are same. In the like fraction, denominators are same. And fourth one, in the unlike fraction, the denominators are different. In the unlike fraction, denominators are different. Got it? So these are the 4 kinds of fractions. तो यहाँ पे आप बहुत carefully observe करोगे. So only thing important is denominator. Numerator का कोई रोल नहीं है. Denominator greater proper, denominator smaller improper, denominator same like, denominator different unlike. This much is clear to everyone. Easy for Himanshu. Okay. Yes, denominators are different. Viren and Tirli, the Mokshangna. Denominators are not same. Is it Sai? Sai? Yes, okay. Good. Next kind of fraction जो हमको discuss करना है, that is fifth kind of fraction, a very important fraction, mixed fraction. Okay, so in the entire chapter of fractions, mixed fraction is very important. Okay, whole fraction is important, but उसमें भी most important is mixed fractions. Mixed fractions. क्या लिखा है fractions के पहले? We have used the term mixed. Mixed हमने क्यों use किया है? We have used the term mixed because these fractions, what do? These fractions have a fraction part in them as well as they have a whole part in them. So we can say mixed fractions are what actually? They are a combination of a whole number and a fraction part. Okay. So all the fractions that contain a whole number in addition to the fraction part, we call all such fractions as mixed fraction. What do we call them? We call them mixed fractions. Like example, if you have seen, have you ever seen fractions such as 2 1 by 3. Have you ever seen fractions such as this? 2 1 by 3. Yes. Okay, yeah, Vaishnavi. So 2 1 by 3. यहाँ पे देखिए. 2 is what? 2 is a whole number. It is a whole number. 1 by 3 is a fraction part. 2 is a whole number. 1 by 3 is a fraction part. So can we say that 2 1 by 3 is actually a combination of whole number and fraction? Because it contains a whole number, at the same time it contains a fraction part. So there is a mixture of both of them. That's why we are calling it a mixed fraction. So what are mixed fractions? Fractions that contain a whole number and a fraction part are referred to as mixed fraction. What do we call them? They are referred as mixed fraction. A fraction that contains a whole number as well as a fraction part. One of the most important kind of fraction. We call it a mixed fraction. Yes, correct, Sai. 4 1 by 2. Okay. Very good. Is the example here. So like we did 2 1 by 3, this is only the example. 2 is the whole number, 1 by 3 is a fraction part. Everyone provide example, take any whole number and add a fraction part to it. It will become a mixed fraction. 4 1 by 3, 6 1 by 9, or you can take 12 7 by 11. Any fraction and the whole part. Provide an example. Very good. 5 7 by 9. Very good. 5 whole 6 by 7. Correct, Manit. Priyanka 4 5 by 7. It is correct. Hartesh 5 8 by 4. Very good. And then Viren 46 3 by 78. Very good. Akshat stories 4 8 by 9. Khushi 2 4 by 9. Everyone is correct here. Okay. So a fraction that contains a whole number and a fraction part. A fraction that is a combination of both a fraction part and a whole number. We refer to such a fraction as mixed fraction. Correct, Vaishnavi. 4 1 by 2, 6 whole 4 by 5, 2 whole 6 by 3. Correct, Deepthi and Aruj. How we read it? You can read it as 2 1 by 3, or we can read it as 2 whole 1 by 3. Okay, so both the ways are correct. 4 1 by 3 or 4 whole 1 by 3. 6 1 by 9 or 6 whole 1 by 9. So clear to everyone what are mixed fractions? Okay, so these were mixed fractions. So let us again do a quick exercise. There I will be providing you with certain fractions and then you will categorize them as mixed fraction, proper fraction or improper fractions. Question. Class 9 के लिए भी we will start this session soon. Okay. So the question is categorize the following fractions as proper, improper and mixed. You have to categorize the fractions as proper, improper and mixed. First fraction 1 by 9. This is the first one. Second fraction 2 11 by 8. Third fraction 5 by 17. Fourth fraction 17 by 9. Sixth fraction 11 by 8 and seventh fraction 2 1 by 6. Go ahead. First one is proper. Okay, Hartesh. Okay, Manit. Second is mixed. Okay. Third one, Naveen is also saying first proper. Okay. Manet, second mixed. Okay. Proper. Okay. First one, 1 upon 9. Denominator is greater in comparison to numerator. So this is a proper fraction. Okay. Next is 211 by 8. Yes. This is a mixed fraction. Very good. 2 is whole. 11 by 8 is fraction. So this is a mixed fraction. Very good. Third one. Third one again proper fraction. Very good. Denominator is greater. So third one is again proper fraction. Good. Manat is correct. Viren is correct. Hartesh, Arun, Naveen, Akshat, Khushi. Very good, Viren. Correct once again. Good, everyone. 17 by 9. Denominator is smaller. Improper fraction. Denominator is smaller, so improper fraction. 11 by 8. Yet again, denominator is smaller. This is what? Improper fraction. 2, 1 by 6. There is a whole. There is a fraction part. That makes it a mixed fraction. Very good. Okay, this will make it a mixed fraction. So clear to everyone how we categorize mixed fraction and how they are different from the rest of other kinds of fraction? Yes, Viren, your answers are correct. Yes, correct, Priyanka. Sixth is mixed fraction. Clear. Okay. So in the topic of fractions, this was the most important part. Next thing that we have to study in the fractions part is how we convert a mixed fraction. ये जो हमने mixed fraction पढ़ा, the fraction that contain a whole number and fraction part is mixed fraction को how will we convert into a improper fraction? This is very important. From here's where the question comes that how to convert a mixed fraction into improper fraction and how to convert an improper fraction into mixed fraction. This is important here, okay? So this we will be discussing in the next class that we will be having tomorrow, okay? How to convert a mixed fraction into improper fraction. From 5 p.m. we will be having the class tomorrow because Raksha Bandhan is there, so you must be tired, but still we will have a class. From 5 p.m. we will be having a class tomorrow. There we will discuss how to convert a mixed fraction into improper fraction and how to convert an improper fraction into mixed fraction. This we will discuss, okay? By the time, अभी किसी को आज जो हमने पढ़ा है इसमें किसी को कोई भी डाउट है, so you can ask. We will redo it. Yes, you have also provided the formula. Okay, whole multiplied by denominator add numerator. Very good. Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss this. Okay, so with this everyone, we will be summing up the session. Tomorrow we will be having a session at 5 p.m. which will be of maths only on YouTube here. Okay, in the regular classes we have a holiday on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan, but here on the YouTube we will be having a session. So okay, no doubts to Khushi. Okay then, so we will sum up the class and we will meet again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Okay, so bye Khushi, bye Kushal and bye everyone. Okay, bye everyone. Good night and a very happy Raksha Bandhan to everyone. Okay, bye. Good night everyone.